I'm Amy Cherry. This local news is a service of Flagler County's Toyota dealer, Beaver Toyota, here to wow ya.
I think that Captain should be kept at the size that it is and the scale that it is.
If you do anything, stay away from killing the trees in the middle of the park.
You're going to sign for the liquor license over my dead body.
Emotions ran high at a public workshop Monday aimed at discussing the future of Captain's Barbecue in Bing's Landing. There, Flagler County commissioners heard 6 new options for the restaurant's expansion in the Hammock. One idea that appeared to have the most support from attendees included moving the restaurant to a more off-center location further southwest, closer to the waterway. There, the restaurant could expand by creating a new building at its own cost without having to shut down its existing restaurant during construction. Commissioner David Sullivan liked that idea.
I think we need to take a hard look at option 4, see what that involves, and see if it's doable with the owners.
Commissioner Greg Hansen didn't exactly agree with it, but would likely support it.
I still think moving it just north is the right answer, and a lot of the arguments, they're not really valid about putting it up there. I think we lose a couple trees. But if we can keep everybody happy and on board by moving it down to position 4, at least we need to look at that a little closer than we have.
The idea appealed to most because it would result in minimal tree loss, a less obstructed view of the intracoastal waterway, and it would have little cost to taxpayers along with no legal liability. Mike Goodman, co-owner of Captain's Barbecue, says he'd go along with the option as a compromise.
This portion of Flagler's Morning News is brought to you by the Daytona Beach International Airport. Save time, money, and stress. The Daytona Beach International Airport, it's just plain easy.
I am not willing to put one more nickel into that building. The only money I'll ever approve now for that building is to demolish it.
Applause followed Commissioner David Sullivan's sentiments that the Sheriff's Office Operations Center can't be saved. At a meeting Monday, Sullivan called for a task force to examine replacing the so-called sick building.
Come up with a plan of action and milestones for replacing, first to come out with a more robust interim solution and then a long-term solution. I know this is a tough issue, but I don't think we can kid ourselves any longer, and it's time to do something.
Dozens of Sheriff's Office employees have fallen ill and filed workers' comp claims in connection with the building, where the most recent inspection found serious moisture under carpet and tile indicating the presence of mold, as well as bat droppings from an infestation on the site that used to be a hospital. What a new building might look like and where it would go all remains up in the air. Sullivan says construction for a new building could require a referendum. Commissioner Joe Mullins appeared supportive of Sullivan's position, calling it long overdue, saying he wanted to see the final report from last week's inspection. Commissioners will select one of their own to head up the task force at a meeting next Monday. The same date, they'll discuss the fate of embattled County Administrator Craig Coffey.
Does Flagler County Administrator Craig Coffey want to stay here?
Coffey says yes.
I love Flagler County. I do want to stay here in Flagler County. My sons have gone through high school here. I've got a son in high school now. I've got tons of friends here.
Coffey said he asked none of those friends to speak on his behalf regarding his job performance because he didn't want the drama.
I truly believe that from work ethic and moving the county forward in a lot of projects, we've done a tremendous job. And I say that not just for Craig Coffey. The team that I have built and assembled around me, I think, is a group of all-stars.
He said the county's won awards for its budget, for instance, and anytime somebody disagrees with funding something, they can come to a meeting and say so. But what if the county gave Craig Coffey a severance and said, go away? He said severance would be, quote, a bittersweet thing. What would affect Coffey, though, he said, is how losing his job might affect the next opportunity.
This stuff plays up in the media, and people follow this on social media or will come up in a future job interview. A lot of people realize these things. It's something I have to consider and weigh.
So until commissioners tell him to leave?
Till they get me voted off the island.
Flagler County Administrator Craig Coffey says he's working early and staying late. From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm Deb Albertson.
Time is running out to submit applications for a free program that teaches Palm Coast teens leadership skills. John Arking has the details.
The deadline is approaching for teens to submit an application to be part of the Palm Coast Teen Council, a leadership program that allows local students to freely express their ideas and opinions and serve as advocates for teens throughout Palm Coast and Flagler County. Michael Smith is the supervisor of youth programming.
That's a forum that we starting up for local teens, opportunity to give them some direction and some voice in the programs and some of the events that the city hosts for them, rather than us just internally coming up with stuff we're giving them a little bit of input as to what they would like to have.
The council will meet at the Palm Coast Community Center on the first Monday from February through May in the evenings from 5 to 6:30. It is free to participate. Applications can be obtained online at palmcoastgov.com/recreation. They must be submitted by January 20th. From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm John Arkin.
Hundreds of Palm Coast residents take advantage of Christmas tree recycling, trading their old trees for a new one of sorts. Tony Magoo has the story.
The City of Palm Coast's annual Christmas tree recycling event was a huge success. Folks were in line right after breakfast to trade in their 2018 model for a potted evergreen that could be transplanted back at the home. All under the watchful eye of city urban forester and arborist Carol Minnie, who's offered a new twist by changing the variety up this year. Some folks use the event to also stop in to dispose of used electronics or have their personal papers shredded at no cost. The annual Arbor Day event is set for May 4th and will also offer no-cost trees and paper shredding. For Flagler's Morning News, I'm Tony Magoo.
And now you're up to date on Flagler's Morning News. I'm Amy Cherry.